Okay, today we're going to tie the furnace green. Furnace green is one of my favorite streamer patterns. It's very productive in the Northeast. It just catches fish. I love to fish it through the winter, through the fall. Sometimes the streamer bug gets me, and that's all I want to fish. And usually this is the streamer that I fish 75% of the time. I start out with a Dick Talor 7X straight eye hook, streamer hook, and 8/0 uni thread. I start a base. And the first material we're going to work with is tinsel. This is two-sided tinsel, silver and gold. I tie it on the side of the hook. And I wrap it back, the silver side up, because on the way back through I'm going to bring the gold side over. And I wrap back to a point even with the point of the barb. My body's going to go to the point of the hook. I want the tag to start from the point of the barb to the point of the hook. And once I have that tied in, and we're going to tie in our floss. I use green uni floss. And again, I tie in at the side of the hook. And I wrap back even with the point of the hook. And then I bring my thread back to the front. And we're going to bring a single layer of uni floss forward. You can tie off your thread if you wish to get it out of the way. Sometimes I do if I'm doing a lot of them. Generally I just leave my floss a little bit long and wrap forward. You're only doing one layer, so it's not like you got a double wrap. You can build your body if you want, but I just keep it one layer. I'm looking for the contrast of the floss and the mylar tinsel anyway, so I don't need a built-up body to do that. Just want a fairly even body. And tie off. And then at this point you're going to wrap your tag, bringing your gold side of your tinsel forward. Oop. Keep a hold of it a little bit better than I did right there. And you're going to bring it up to the butt end of the floss. I give one more wrap, and then I bring it forward. A little bit wider than that. I throw a lot of gold in this body. A little bit of flash. trim it off. And then when I finish the rib, I whip finish, because when I'm manhandling the deer hair and moving this around, I don't want this slipping, and it will slip on the Mylar. Okay, your next material is red bucktail. If you got a rotary vise, this isn't an issue. I very seldom use rotary, so every now and then, by the time I throw it in, I just flip it over. And take a small tuft of deer hair. Don't overdo it with the throat. You don't want it to quite reach the point of the hook, but you want the color to show. So you're not cutting it too short. A little bit longer than you would normally do with tippet. And pinch wrap it. And then bring it back around. I said rotary vise users will smile when you see me do that. And the next material you're going to tie in is olive bucktail. You're not going to overdo it with this either. I finger stack the hair. Mainly just pull out the long ones, pull out the short ones, and use what's left. Just a small tuft of color. You only want it to go about a gap length past the bend of the hook. And pinch wrap on top. And then the next material you're going to tie in is an overwing of pheasant tail fibers. You're going to grab probably 6 or 8 of them. Just enough to have a decent clump. They're natural, so you don't want dyed. Well, you can tie it whatever color you want, but I tie it with natural. And you're going to tie them in right over top of the bucktail. And at this point, I whip finish. And then while I'm getting ready to do my wing, I add a small dab of Sally Hansen's to set on the deer hair and fiber. And while that's setting, I turn to my wings. My wing is comprised of furnace hackle or Greenwell hackle. I've become, since I've designed the fly, I've turned more towards a Greenwell hackle, and a pheasant tail or a hen pheasant shoulder. They're glued together in this manner. I use Sally Hansen's to attach them. They're from opposing sides, and you want them to measure even with the tips of the hair. I tie them in one at a time. And then I grab my opposing feather and tie in the other side. Got a bucktail fiber in the way there. And once they're tied in, I'm going to clip the butts. And keeping them in place, I'm going to build your head. And give a whip finish. Okay, then I use Sally Hansen's as well for the head. One of my streamers. I'll put a dab on. I'll touch it up a little bit with the bodkin, get to where I want it, and rotate it a little bit as it dries. Missed a little bit of a spot there. I want it even. And I'll rotate it. And then once this dries, I'll add one more coat. But there it is, the Furnace Green. It is one of my favorite all-time featherwing patterns. It's an excellent trout pattern for the Northeast. It fishes all year long. It's just a wonderful pattern. It's been in my box for a good number of years. Fairly easy to tie for a featherwing and fairly common materials. I hope it adds to your box. Thank you very much.